Hello again. Building a total trade platform. That's the topic of our next presentation.
Sorry.
And I'm delighted to see that we have here today Ng Chee Keong. Chee Keong is the Vice President at Global E-Trade Services, or GETS, as many people refer to it here in Singapore. And so, without further ado, I would like Chee Keong to deliver his presentation on building a total trade platform, CALISTA. Thank you, Chee Keong.
Thank you, Bob, and very good morning to everyone. Really feeling well today in the morning, and I hope everyone else is doing the same. So today I'm going to share with you about building a total trade platform on our platform called CALISTA. So this is a good time that we can share all this information with you. So what do we mean by a total platform or trade platform itself? It actually is a combination between business and government. From a business perspective itself, we look at it. Example like freight forwarders, carrier, exporter, the declarant, even warehouse, insurance, or the banks. These are more from the business side of the ecosystem itself. And from government, we do look at customs, the Ministry of Health or Quarantine Authority, even the Ministry of Trades, and many, many others departments itself. Both business and government, to perform a trade, they need to work with each other. And that is where we are looking at, to formulate a government to government, government to business, and business to business kind of connection to put up together. Together with this combination itself, we formulate a total trade platform. And how do we go about to enhance or to build this platform, or even to embrace on this platform itself? We have a business services that we do, that we build digital government. And the two core products that we built in the digital government itself is, first is Coherent. Coherent actually is a product that we actually gel the government, the business, and the citizen together, which is we fulfill the needs of transmission between government to business, business to business, and business to citizen, or even government to citizen. So this help electronically or digitally, they can transmit all their requests and services. From the other additional core products that we have is the TFP, or we call it Trade Facilitation Platform. This is a platform that we actually built for more than 30 years of experience. If you look at the inner circle, with marked with orange, these are core products like single window, custom management system, permit and license, free trade zone management. These core products itself has been deployed and used in the world for more than 19 other countries, and it's have a really good experience of more than 30 years of experience. And with all these core products itself, we have built additional new products like advanced risk analytics, trade advisory, cross-border services, e-maritime single window. This is something that is now in Asia. A lot of people are looking at it now. Helping the port to digitize, or the port authority. Last but not least, the trade visibility system itself, which is able to show you or the government to understand whether how much tax collection that I have, or is there any issues with my tax collection, or what kind of tax structures that we're talking about, or even the custom management portion. So combination of these two basically help us to fulfill our digital government. The next thing that we talk about is more for business itself, like the digital trade. What do we do in the digital trade? We have three core areas that we are looking at. Number one is logistics, compliance, and finance. From a logistic point of view, what do? We do booking of freight, orchestrating services, and providing track and trace. Visibility today is very important to everyone. We buy a lot of things on e-commerce itself. So today you need to know whether my goods is arriving or have it left its destination port. Compliant is something that, we are having great experience for more than 30 years. We do intelligent advisory, assessing to trade protocol. This is a good example. Like, for example, if you're an exporter, you want to look at, if I want to export particular product, what are the HS code? Or going to country that I have never done any trade with, what will be the trade protocol? We are able to advise you from the system itself, able to tell you. And you can formulate the right regulatory filing. We even go to the extent of doing importer of records, helping overseas companies to expand out to different countries by selling their products. Last but not least, our finance services. For finance services is how we offer financing services, doing all the invoicing financings that we can provide, and also insurance services. Cross-border payment, this is something that we are embracing on the fintech technologies. All our financings and insurance, including cross-border payment, is how we work through our third-party partners is how. Example like the bank or third-party financial companies or insurance that work closely with us on that, so that we can provide end-to-end digital financing. We also offer total services in a way that we provide like IOR, importer of records, helping people in terms of working on the tax regime or non-tax regime. Claiming of GST, this is helping really all those e-commerce providers that is selling into Singapore or countries that we have IOR licenses. The next services that is really hot now is our US e-commerce import program. This is a growing business. We have seen this growth like every month. We are seeing a lot of transaction from this. We help companies in China to export their products into US through the e-commerce route. Good example like Taobao, Alibaba, Lazada, or even Shopee. They will be keen to use this software. We help the seller to do these services, helping them in terms of custom filing, fulfillment, even do last mile delivery. Sending it through this e-commerce export program itself, it gives you fast response time, easier to clear the customs itself, and also save costs. So if you are interested, do reach out to us on this. We are also doing fulfillment by Amazon. So mainly we are able to give advisory in terms of the consultancy, how you actually set up the e-store, custom clearance, and other services, including Amazon warehouse. These are services that we leverage on our technology so that it makes things easier, simple, quick, and cost efficient. So all our solution itself is basically based on 3 core areas itself. It can be on the web, the mobile, or through system integration, which is we talk about using EDI, XML, or API integration if you have your already existing system. We have user-friendly UI and great mobile interface. So that helps you to be making it much easier to use and put up together. Definitely, if you look at it, the combination of a business trade plus the government, put up all together is how it formulates into a total trade experience. And this is what we are pushing, we are working on to make people a better experience in terms of a total trade. And very much that we focus on the trade business that we are talking about. So last but not least, this is my last slide. I'm open up to have any questions that anyone has or any discussion that, any one of you is keen to discuss over here.
I think Ramon will be joining us to handle the Q&A.
Okay. Great, Bob. That's my last slide. So let me know if there's any question or anything that, the audience is keen to ask.
Yes, I do encourage our audience to type in your questions in the Q&A box. Questions for Chee Keong from Gets. But we have the first question coming in. That's from Ola, who's Vice President, Head Sales and Marketing at Navam. And he or she says, can I, as a sender, book a container shipment in your system?
Yes, you are able to ask sender to actually book a container in our system itself. CALISTA is basically a system that allows you to connect with different carrier, and you can perform bookings as long as you have a relationship or contract with the carrier itself. Through our system itself, you can actually book a container. That is possible. And I think Sanjay has a question. He was asking me what is the chart on the top right of this slide explain. So basically on this chart here, the top right here are the two digital government products that we have, like Coherent and Trade Facilitation Platform. This is a systems that we actually sell to government. If I may go back to a few slides, maybe I just show it to you. So on this slide itself, it gives you a very clear distinction itself. What do we do in terms of digitalizing with the government itself? So two parts. One is really looking at Coherent, which is help to build the linkage between government, citizen, and business together. The other part of it, the TFP portion, which is very focused on the trade related, which is we talk about the single windows, we talk about the custom management solution, the free trade zone solution, and permit and license application solution. So this gives you a different perspective. And imagine within trade and business, it is always that, we need to make sure that, government are supporting in some of the trades itself. We have a lot of information that is traveling between country to countries, and technology or digitalization will help in terms of provide a seamless kind of connectivity. So Sanjay, I hope I answer your question. I think there's another question that asked by Sanjay itself about, enterprise want to set up importing entity in China itself. Would that something be possible? I would say that yes, that is something that we can discuss and we can work with you. Not exactly on the Coherent portion, but more on the CALISTA. So for CALISTA itself, we provide different, it's more towards a business kind of platform. So it can help you in terms of to facilitate all this import and export solution itself.
Talk about the evolution of CALISTA. I mean, how long? I think there may be people joining on this session who may not be so familiar with Gets and CALISTA. So can you give some background into that as well?
Oh, sure. I mean, just to let everybody knows that, Gets, the combination of Gets itself. So we are actually a combination of two huge entities. Our parents' company is Crimson Logic. We have been doing single windows and government projects for the last 30 years itself. And today, Crimson Logic itself has two big shareholders itself. One of them is PSA, who own us about more than 70%. The other 30% is by Enterprise Singapore. So that actually helped us in terms of formulate what our overall direction that we are looking at today. So Gets is formed in order to service both the digital government and the digital trade business that we are talking about. We focus very much in terms of trade-related business itself. That's where we have this vision of providing a total trade platform. Because when you do a trade itself, you definitely have to work with certain part of the government entity and agency itself in order to facilitate this seamless data transfer, so that we can have the seamless trade, import or export. That's our core area that we are really, really experienced, that we can share. Because when we build our single windows itself, we have a lot of experience through all the custom managements, putting everything together. So we can share this with our business entity or business partners that we work with.
So from what I understand, your business has gone quite international. You have customers well outside Singapore as well, don't you?
Yes, we do. In fact, we are present in almost more than 20 countries. So today we are very focused. Much is to expand into China and countries that we have never been there before.
Okay, so let me take the next question for you, Chee Keong. If we have a marketplace customer which has thousands of SKUs being introduced, can we apply licenses using API for control products?
You are able to do that. In a way itself is if you have 1,000 of SKU itself, because when you classify all those SKU itself, some of the products itself, it may belongs to one similar kind of HS code itself. And that actually helps in terms of make it simple, meaning that I have 1,000, I may combine them into 4 or 5 group of different HS code, and then we can do our decoration services. And it can through API connectivity through our products called CALISTA Intelligent Advisory, the CIA product.
Okay.
We do have this. Interested? Right. We are keen to explore more.
Okay. Yeah, and Saeed's second part of this question is, which other countries are you already integrated to?
We have more than 180 countries information on that. So we do have that. That is from the HS code and the trade compliance, trade protocol information from that. If you're talking about custom linkage itself, we have more than 60 countries that we have linked up technically, able to transmit data with them. So far we see that actively using it itself is in the countries like Malaysia, Thailand, and Hong Kong or China.
Okay. So here on this slide, you've got government, business, and citizens.
Yep.
So your key clients then would be businesses and governments.
We will look at it is my key customer itself will be more businesses. The government portion itself is facilitating all the seamless data submission of trade related. So we focus very much is on trade related itself. The involvement of a citizen itself is because you see humans like us, we buy things on e-commerce, we will ship things. So you get yourself involved in all these cross-border decorations. Like I buy things from China, they have to ship over to Singapore. So when they're shipping over itself, there is all these decoration services that are required and information that I have to provide. Okay. So all in all, that is how we get this involved. But very much itself, we really focus more on the business aspect itself. The government portion here is really helping them is to how you digitalize them in order to facilitate our business.
So when businesses are looking to invest in this platform, the CALISTA platform, what kind of justification process do they typically go through to justify that capital investment?
Important thing here is when you want to get on board in CALISTA itself, there's a few areas that I would say that the customers has to really look into it. Number one itself, they're really looking at digitalizing their whole process, which is we can offer you good experience on that, and our platform is ready. The connection of CALISTA itself today, just to share more, CALISTA is connected with more than 50 ports around the world and 90 over carrier around the world. Indirectly connecting with them or directly connecting with all these carrier. So it allows you to actually place an order of your container through all these carrier that's connected with us. And together with more than 60 custom nodes that we are connected. When you do order or booking a container itself, the whole process from a booking of container, preparing the shipping instruction information, and all this information itself, later on, we can use it for decoration services, other export permit, or at the destination country itself for the import decoration services. So it is an end-to-end traction that we're talking about. When you complete this, some solution itself or some companies may look at, hey, can I also apply LC, letter of credit, through you? Because all the same information you need to share with the bank. The bank need all this information itself to check whether can I able to grant you an LC or what kind of LC protocol that we require. And this is something that we can present to you, because as long as the customer is willingly and say, yes, I agree, I give you my authority to say to share this information with this particular banks I'm working with, or particular financial institute, we should be able to share this information, and this help to actually smoothen the process and make it seamless because of the data sharing that we are talking about.
Okay. And you're finding that there's a growing interest in this type of trade platform on the behalf of enterprises?
Oh yes, they are. In fact, we look at it. Many companies have actually came to us and talked to us about it. So in a way itself, they are looking at different aspects here. Some of them are very focused on the logistic portion. Some of them will come and tell you, say, I need to know more about from the compliance portion itself. In fact, the financing portion itself is some big area that we are growing, because we are seeing that people are feeling that, hey, I have all this information, but why can't I digitalize this information and make this application of LC or financing even seamless? So that this connectivity itself is something that is good. That we are seeing that a lot of customers, a lot of big organizations actually coming to us and ask us how this can be done.
So essentially, you're saving them a lot of time in processes. That's that's a lot of time, a lot of manpower savings by using the platform.
Correct. Once you access to the platform itself, because you have all your information on one fingertip itself, so a press of a button, you can send it. You can do a lot of many other things. So it's a total trade kind of flow that allow people to understand more, allow people to see that how this information could share apart.
Okay. And let me take the next question. What part of trade facilitation is not yet digitized in Malaysia? Any current initiatives with the Malaysian government?
Okay, the Malaysian government at the moment itself, we are working closely with some so-called digitalizing partner itself. Like we partner with some Malaysian companies, technology partner, to work on that. So far, what we see is they are leveraging on the cross-border. Like for example, people exporting to Singapore or importing to Singapore. We have our own trade web system, which is allow any exporter in Malaysia, they can actually use our service. They integrated. Okay. So they can use that. So in Malaysia itself, we work with people like Daganet to actually exchange information for their so-called declaration services into Malaysia also. So this is something that we have already done. It's just that the current COVID situation itself has some slowdown in terms of this connectivity itself or this integration work that we are working on.
All right. Okay, interesting. And I guess if people want more information, either on CALISTA or on GETS, they can go over to your, I believe you have a booth over in the exhibition part.
We do have a booth. We do have a booth, virtual booth here in this event itself. So please visit our booth and you're able to get more information. But nevertheless, if you need to, do send us an email or come to our website. There will be more information from there also.
Hi, Chee Keong. This is Raymond. I hope my sound issue is fixed.
Oh, yes.
Apologies for that.
Yeah,
I think there was a question also to put your contact details up as well.
Oh,
so if you could do that, that would be great.
Definitely. We will share this content itself. Happy to do so.
All right. Bob, thanks for standing in.
All right. Yeah, sure. Thanks. Thanks, Ramon. Thanks, Chee Keong.